All right. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Okay. Okay. You can see that what I was just saying now is we can we had quite a sharp sell-off early in the session yesterday, but recovered very quickly and got into positive territory kind of midway through the session yesterday. What's interesting really, I mean, we finished more or less flatline, but I think it was a big moral victory for the market just to be able to kind of put its foot in the ground and at least hold for the day. I think if we lost another 1+% yesterday, then you could have been in real danger of a shakeout. We have a couple interesting things going on. Obviously, we had Janet Yellen that was appointed as to be nominated as the Fed chair. We also we've got something else today. We've got some of the House Republicans that are going to meet with President Obama today and discuss the budget and the debt ceiling issues. So I think market could be a little bit hopeful about that. We also had the release of the Fed minutes. No real surprises there. So, not a whole lot to kind of go on from that point of view. We had Japanese stocks that were up for the third day in a row on machine orders, jumped to the highest since the crash of 2008. I think that's pretty significant. But Hang Seng and Shanghai were actually were down reasonably on the day. So we didn't see a lot of relief in Asia, even though we didn't have such a weak day in the States. We've got nothing really going on in terms of the corporate action today. A lot of market data though. We had tertiary industry index and machine orders, like we just said, out of Japan, both better than expected. We had the employment change out of Australia, which was weaker than expected. We've got industrial production out of France and Italy a little bit later. We've got the BOE rate decision out at 1 o'clock today. And we've got local manufacturing production at 1 o'clock as well. And then we've got initial jobless claims out in the States later today. I'm not even 100% sure if the initial jobless claims will be reported completely in its entirety because of the government shutdown. I'll try to figure out a little bit more on that throughout the day, maybe let you guys know on Twitter. But I'll have to have a look into that. All right, let's jump into the maps. The one thing I just wanted to mention to everyone, really before we get totally underway here is just simply that, the last time when we had this issue, the debt ceiling debate, the market really sold off into the debt ceiling debate, and people were expecting, okay, if they come to a resolution, we're going to get this nice bounce. We got a resolution. I think that day we opened up 20 points on the S&Ps, and then we finished down about 17 or 20 points. And then we sold off another 2 or 3% in the next few sessions. And so we didn't really get any relief out of the announcement that they had actually come to an agreement last time, and I'm worried that the market's kind of setting us up in that scenario again. It feels very similar. The market was incredibly overbought coming into that timeline. So just give that some thought going into the back half of this month. All right, first thing we'll look at again is going to be the Aussie future here. We'll shorten it up a little bit so we can get a little bit more accurate on the levels, but we had talked about before really this where we broke out from. We talked about this level yesterday, and that we may test it if we drop this level on the Aussie. I think it was a 38.850 or something like that, which we obviously did drop. So to me, it's looking like next level of support is around 37,700. Call it 37,720, somewhere in there roughly. I mean, you could potentially even try to call it 50 points lower. The bottom line is that roughly that's kind of the area that I think will or probably needs to be tested sometime to really see us have the correction that we need to get some sort of relief. Sorry, I'm just seeing something coming across on the Bloomberg terminal here. I thought it's worth mentioning. Richemont price target is raised at Deutsche Bank to 108 Swiss francs from 86 at Deutsche Bank. It keeps it at buy rating. And Steinhoff is also restarted at hold at Deutsche Bank. All right. Next one I want to look at is spot gold price. we sent out a tweet on this yesterday, I believe, from looking at this head and shoulder pattern. We dropped 13 here briefly yesterday. We actually, I think, traded down to 12.95. The real level that we're going to look for to drop below, I think, is around 12.87 on the gold price here. And I mean, obviously, quite clearly defined head and shoulder pattern. And you can see one of the reasons why I also wanted to just point this out is because you can't because our local gold shares are really dropping to new lows at the moment. So you kind of get the feeling that this gold price is going to follow suit. Remember, we always talk about the shares lead the price of the underlying. So this is really looking like it's very likely to drop here. Call it, like I said, 1285, 1287, somewhere in that neighborhood. We dropped that on the gold price, and I think it's at least a retest of the lows at 1200, if not all the way down into the 1100s. Following that up, we'll just have a quick look at AngloGold, and we'll also shorten this one up to have a little bit better look. The reason why I wanted to show this one strictly because we're kind of really dropping, close to dropping what really was our lows. I mean, we had the 2-day wonder there, like all the shares did when they moved, but I think we're very close to dropping this level. And if I kind of shorten this up a little bit, you can actually see the more recent range, which is kind of in danger of dropping now. So I think that generally, call it the 125 level. I would actually even be happy to draw this up here a little bit, kind of take that one close out. And the 125, you can see how significant it is. Sorry, there we go. You can see how significant the 125 is. We've really only had about two closes below that, maybe 3 closes below that, around 125. And I think if we drop at 125, I think we'll see further pressure in AngloGold. You can see all the others. Harmony dropping to new all-time lows on yesterday's session. You can see Goldfields, which is also dropping to new all-time lows in yesterday's session. So these other shares have already gotten there. Like I said, I think the gold price is kind of looks to be making a drop to potentially new lows as well. And I think these shares are starting to show it. So it's a little bit more of a risky short, but it's one of the best technical setups on the short side in the market on these gold shares. All right, let's look at CFR. We'll also shorten this up. We were talking yesterday about this kind of the bottom end of this range, somewhere around here, really around kind of 96.50 would be that level. You could. It's not real clearly defined, but so I can't really throw a whole lot behind it. What I would say is that 94 is really where I think we broke out from. Somewhere between 94 and call it 93, and that's where I would really like to see a full retracement to before jumping in on this. But I know this stock's been really hard to get pullbacks in, and buying it on any significant pullbacks have been a real win here. So just watch this one closely. I think there could be some opportunity in the next few sessions. All right, Naspers, you can see here we dropped out of the recent trading range, which has really been around from 920 up to as high as 955. At one point, a few sessions ago, we were looking like we may start to pop out to the upside, but we managed to drop that yesterday. Obviously, had quite a heavy-handed day at the end of the day. Managed to close down another $4 or $5 in the auction, and I'd like to think that 875 is really our first real level of support where we definitely made our breakout from to kind of reclaim these next levels on that continuation move. So 875 for me is definitely first level of real support from where we are now in Naspers. Obviously 900 some sort of psychological level. But I think 875 is the first real level that I think you can really think of maybe having a buy. Sorry, we already looked at AngloGold. Let's look at Trueworths. Trueworths I wanted to show here simply because when we broke out a few sessions ago around, I think it was 90 and a half. What level is that? 91, call it, from this little double top that we ended up selling off of. we've really managed to regain that. The reason why it's so significant, right around 91, is right where the 200-day moving average is, and we've kind of put in this consolidation above this last few sessions. I mean, the last two sessions we've been down 500 points, and you can see how well we held up. We held above 200-day, we held above the significant technical level, and it's really looking like we can put in a little bit of a continuation move above 93. So I think if we get above 93 in True Worths, which is 20 cents from where we closed yesterday, and hold there for a little bit, I think we really can make a continued move higher. The last one I'll show is on the LSC. It's the Admiral Group. You can see here, I'll back it out a little bit, but you can see we dropped a very significant level where we were initially gapped up from all the way back in January of this year. And we've broken down below that over the last two sessions and managed to hold there below 12 pounds. I think this thing could definitely potentially sell off at least another 50 cents on this move. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.